Welcome to the No Views News. This program was created on Wednesday, September 22nd, at 8:25 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, by Zeno Reader. There are 669 headlines from 106 feeds we check to build this automated report. Welcome to No Views, daily automated podcast news. The headlines in this super unknown daily news summary do not imply fact-checking or endorsement of ideas. The first headlines are from the current most popular news site, Yahoo News, with 175 million estimated monthly unique visitors. MSNBC hosts crack up over error found on first page of Trump lawsuit. John Walsh, the former host of America's Most Wanted, questions if anyone actually saw Brian Laundrie in his home when his attorney said he was there. Arizona Republican resigns after secret recording released. An FBI tipster claims she saw a man that may be Gabby Petito's fiancé Brian Laundrie acting weird. My Pillow guy mocked for a new Trump prediction, and it's a real turkey. LA pair say they know mystery woman found in Croatia. Manila mayor, ex-scavenger and actor, to seek presidency. Haitian deportees assaulted U.S. pilots, injured 3 ICE officers. Police say 4 people found dead in SUV in Wisconsin were killed in Minnesota. Suspect reportedly told his father he snapped. Ryder Cup injury envelope has new twist amid COVID threat. The next headlines are from the second most popular news website at this time, with 150 million unique monthly visitors, Google News. Ryder Cup gets personal. Hey, golf fans, leave those guys alone, say wives and girlfriends, CNN. India slams UK's new travel rules as discriminatory, warns of retaliation, CNBC. Tucker Carlson, Biden knew the border crisis was coming, he wants illegal migrants here, Fox News. Evergrande crisis will hurt China's economic growth, says former central bank advisor, CNBC. Beloved Sex and the City actor Willie Garson dies at 57, NPR. Biden resurrects suspect story about kudos from Amtrak conductor, New York Post. Week 2 NFL Power Rankings, 49ers stay put after win versus Eagles, Niners wire. Don't talk about my mom, Canelo and plant trade blows before bout, The Guardian. Brazilian president's son slams Marxist de Blasio for warning father not to go to UN over lack of vaccine, Fox News. La Palma volcano update, Cumbre Vieja volcano eruption, La Palma, 1.54 square km half covered by lava flows, volcano discovery. The following headlines are from the third most popular news website, with 110 million unique monthly visitors, The Huffington Post. People think there's something very familiar about the new Space Force uniforms. Conor McGregor's first pitch goes viral for the wrong reason. Biden's blunt reaction to Trump's White House toys detailed in new book. New book details why Trump dismissed Africa golf course idea. 2 words in the new Trump book send a chill down Stephen Colbert's spine. Nicole Richie accidentally sets her hair on fire while blowing out birthday candles. Facebook reportedly moves to tout image rather than apologize for rogue content. Bill Gates gets really awkward when asked about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Jimmy Kimmel sums up newly revealed Trump plot to steal election. The next headlines are from the fourth most popular news website, with 95 million estimated unique monthly visitors, CNN. 3 found dead in home died of natural causes. Nearly 7 million gallons of sewage overflowed. Couple thankful robbers only took purse. Cops allege officer fabricated evidence. Women suffer severe brain injuries in beating. Principal on leave amid DUI investigation. 2 men stung by bees more than 100 times each. Sheriff, man drives 120 miles per hour with child in car. Statues restored after being toppled by protesters last year. Football player underwent surgery for head injury. The next headlines are from the fifth most popular news website at this time, with 70 million estimated unique monthly visitors, The New York Times. Why France is angry about the US's submarine deal. How is climate change altering your favorite places? Top advisor to Ukrainian president is targeted in an assassination attempt. As the Federal Reserve meets, all eyes are on its bond purchase plans. CDC panel will decide who gets Pfizer boosters. A black theater flourished in New York 200 years ago. A broken frame and DNA traces led to arrest in Van Gogh theft. Pressure grows on U.S. companies to share COVID vaccine technology. Michael Gandolfini and the rule of Tony Soprano. How they failed, California Republicans, media critics and Facebook. The following headlines are from the 6th most popular news website, with an estimated 65 million monthly unique visitors, Fox News. NFL odds, why Eagles vs. Cowboys will be a high-scoring track meet. MSNBC's Joy Reid proves there is such a thing as bad publicity, problematic rhetoric doesn't draw viewers. Ed Rollins, why 2022 midterms could be a catastrophe for Biden. MVP watch, Kyler Murray skyrockets after electric start for Arizona Cardinals. Kids and Cops program helps sick children in Omaha. American-made $171K Acura NSX Type S supercar sold out for 2022. General Motors reveals the Ultium electric motors that will power it into the future. Expelled Haitian migrants try to get back on plane returning to U.S. Florida woman, 74, saves pet dog from alligator attack, report. Mississippi woman identified 44 years after her murder, likely victim of serial killer. You are hearing today's top news headlines and more. Today is Wednesday, September 22nd. The next headlines are from the 7th most popular news website, with 63 million estimated monthly unique visitors, CBS News. A closer look at 4 drugs used to treat COVID-19, what really works? Watch, FBI, Most Wanted and FBI, International premiere tonight in a special 3-part crossover event. These splurge-worthy hoodies will ease you into fall with style. The 25 best horror movies, ranked. Joe Lasorda, wife of late Los Angeles Dodgers manager Tommy Lasorda, dies at 91. Brian Laundrie search ramps up as autopsy performed on body believed to be Gabby Petito. TikTok under fire over devious licks viral challenge inspiring students to vandalize school bathrooms. AZ Tesfaye on becoming the first actor to write an episode for Supergirl, it's incredibly personal. It's our job, firefighters rescue passenger suffering medical emergency on Southwest flight. It's a James Bond movie for TV, Missy Peregrine and Zico Zaki on Season 4 premiere of CBS FBI and Epic crossover event. The next headlines are from the 8th most popular news website, with an estimated 53 million monthly unique visitors, Mail Online, The Daily Mail. Ministers strike deal to avert crisis in shops, with fertilizer plants to reopen as soon as tomorrow. Ringleader of Insulate Britain's M25 eco-mob storms off GMB. Boris blasts anti-vax strictly stars, PM says everyone should have COVID jab. Don't get burned in the energy crisis, how to keep cool as Bill Sawyer. Government gets an injunction against M25 eco-anarchists. COVID variant with increased resistance to antibodies has been identified at Kentucky nursing home. The usual suspects, how the same shameless eco-anarchists have been blocking the M25 day after day. Students let their hair down for another night out in Nottingham as they make most of Freshers Week. Black shop worker, 26, shares racist abuse from Curry's PC World colleagues who called him Afro-Man. Kate Middleton jokes what could go wrong, as she tries out abseiling and mountain biking. The following headlines are from the 9th most popular news website, with an estimated 47 million monthly unique visitors, The Washington Post. This is the Washington Post World News Feed. Attackers strike Taliban in eastern Afghanistan, 5 killed. China Evergrande fears toward default, and a $300 billion global shock. Indian officials burn rhino horns to stop illegal trade. My whole life in a van, islanders flee Spanish volcano. Germany's Merkel makes final campaign push for stumbling political heir. Canadian recounts her abduction by jihadists in Burkina Faso. 5.9 earthquake causes minor damage in Australia, no injuries. Kim Jong-un shift from nuclear push to economy intensified internal debates in country, report says. Brazil's health minister tests positive for coronavirus at UN General Assembly. A Japanese man threatened a bloodbath at a vaccination site. He sent his warning via fax. The next headlines are from the 10th most popular news website, which has an estimated 42 million monthly unique visitors, The Guardian. This is The Guardian's U.S. news feed. Markets rally as Evergrande fears ease, CO2 prices to rise sharply, business live. COVID live, Brazil health minister who shook hands with maskless Boris Johnson at UN tests positive. Saint-making, the canonization of Derek Jarman by queer nuns. The Dixie Fire is almost out, but its inhospitable moonscapes remain. Post-Merkel Germany awaits to see whether party's favorite can fill her shoes. 2 more men arrested over Derry murder of reporter Lyra McKee. Rick Astley on his Smiths covers gigs. I'll use a karaoke machine if I have to. Zara Joya, the Afghan reporter who fled the Taliban and kept telling the truth about women. New Texas law bans abortion-inducing drugs after 7 weeks pregnancy. When one Bernhard Langer putt decided the Ryder Cup 30 years ago. The following headlines are from the 12th most popular news website, with an estimated 36 million monthly unique visitors, ABC News. Smaller COVID vaccine doses may protect kids as well as full doses in adults, Pfizer. Beloved Sex and the City actor Willie Garson dies at 57. University to pay $1.60 to students assaulted by employee. California now has nation's lowest virus transmission rate. Charges, man snapped, killed 4, then left bodies in field. 2 charged with hate crime and attack on Jewish men in L.A. Brazil health minister tests positive for the coronavirus. House Democrats remove money for Israel's Iron Dome system and funding bill. South Korean president talks end Korea's nuclear activities, BTS new diplomacy role. The next headlines are from the 13th most popular news website, with an estimated 35 million monthly unique visitors, the BBC News. Covishield, UK recognizes COVID jab after India outcry. Joe Biden plays down chances of UK's trade deal. Willie Garson, Sex and the City actors remember late co-star. Trump sues niece in New York Times over tax story. Taliban asked to speak at UN General Assembly in New York. AUKUS, Australia's big gamble on the US over China. China pledges to stop building new coal energy plants abroad. Melbourne earthquake, tremor rattles Southeast Australia. COVID-19, India health workers' families fight for compensation. German elections, businesses face future without Merkel. The following headlines are from the 14th most popular news website, with an estimated 34 million monthly unique visitors, USA Today. On this day, September 22, 2002. Pfizer announces 500 more vaccines to lower-income countries. California has lowest virus transmission in U.S. COVID-19 updates. The autumnal equinox marks the end of summer, but is it the start of fall or autumn? Bronze bust unveiled at Burt Reynolds' gravesite. 87-year-old California woman, a retired Los Angeles sheriff's sergeant, found dead in freezer, authorities say. World leaders on COVID pandemic woes at UNGA. She helped integrate higher education in the South, and her classmates wanted her dead. Americans stood up to racism in 1961 and changed history. This is their fight, in their words. Today in history for September 22nd. Gabby Petito's death a homicide, autopsy finds, search intensifies for fiancé, Brian Laundrie. The next headlines are from the 15th most popular news website, with an estimated 35.5 million monthly unique visitors, the LA Times. Black Lives Matter leader sues over Los Angeles Police Department response to swatting incident. LA cracks down on out-of-control protests, some call it overreach. San Jose State to pay $1.6 million to athletes over handling of sex abuse allegations. San Francisco Mayor London Breed, under fire for going maskless, attacks fun police. Earthquake, 3.5 quake felt near Valle Vista, California. With mayor's race heating up, LA council members seek to oust Piscano from post. City admits it's far from getting families home after Los Angeles Police Department fireworks blast. State announces charges in alleged student loan debt relief scam with more than 19,000 victims. Despite Newsom's call to cut water use, LA and San Diego didn't conserve in July. Discussing mental health in Latino families, we want to hear from you. We hope you are enjoying this news podcast. Today is Wednesday, September 22nd, 2021. You just heard from the top 15 most popular news websites in the world. More, from other news sources, is up next. Next, Reddit World News. Reddit is a user collective which claims over 430 million active users per month, and these are the top voted stories today. EU plans to legislate for common phone charger despite Apple grumbles. An interfaith couple was accosted, the Muslim man beaten up and the Hindu woman forced to hit him in the face with slippers in public as a video was shot to humiliate them. Magnitude 5.9 earthquake strikes near Melbourne, Australia. Afghan girl school ban would be un-Islamic, Pakistan PM says. Pakistan Hindu family tortured for fetching drinking water from mosque. Lithuania says throw away Chinese phones due to censorship concerns. Amazon is lobbying the U.S. to legalize weed. Brazil's health minister tests positive for COVID-19 in NYC. Brazil's unvaccinated president had to eat pizza on NYC sidewalk. Magnitude 6.0 earthquake strikes near Melbourne. Alberta bar closes after overwhelming number of threats after opting into Vax Pass. An ancient tablet, stolen and acquired by Hobby Lobby, will be returned to Iraq. Russia plans 15 new nuclear power units by 2035. Melbourne, Victoria, NSW, Sydney, Canberra feel earth tremor. With no U.S. support, leaders of Afghan resistance flee the country. The next headlines are from Forbes. Haitians under its bridge, Del Rio ranks among top 25% of nation's trade gateways. In climate milestone, China she pledges end to overseas coal power, but is it enough? Lawmakers already floating second House vote on $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill. The future of China's gas demand. Brazilian health minister tests positive for COVID-19 in New York hours after attending UN General Assembly. Belated, bifurcated, bungled, the sad, strange state of the 2021 Tony Awards. Donald Trump sues New York Times and his niece Mary, alleges insidious plot to obtain his tax records. Malaysian billionaire brothers IOI Properties submits only bid for Marina Bay Hotel, residential site. WWENX2 results, winners, news and notes on September 21, 2021. Sex and the City star Willie Garson dies at 57. The next headlines are from Nature.com. Preprint ban reversal, vaccine boosters and awards bias. Biden must keep funding pledge to historically black colleges and universities. Funders, cover APCs for African scholars, and do more. Afghanistan, Taliban's return imperils maternal health. Changing the wrapping won't fix genetic racism package. Bright lights at night scramble the sweet song of crickets. A mega penguin stood tall on prodigious limbs. Life-sized camels in rock are a Stone Age masterpiece. From the archive. How far will global population rise? Researchers cannot agree. The World Population Update. Currently, we are increasing by over 220,000 people a day, expecting to reach 8 billion in 2023. At the time this report was generated, the population was estimated to be 7,733,167,102 humans. Worldometers.info says there are 195 countries at this time and, of those, the top 10 with the largest populations are, in order, China, India, the United States, Indonesia, Pakistan, Brazil, Nigeria, Bangladesh, Russia, and then Mexico. The next headlines are from Variety. Musical adventure 12 hours to destruction sees kids battling to save school dance. Great British Bake Off hemorrhages viewers as it returns for season 12 on Channel 4. Upcoming biopic Kika, to spotlight the many faces of Finnish pop singer exclusive. CAA Sports expands in Asia with Singapore office and hires. Pamela Tola on her documentary about Finnish pop star Alma. Dune, watch Denis Villeneuve reveal why he chose Abu Dhabi's Liwa Desert as a double for Arrakis exclusive. Silent Land Helmer on world's response to migrants, we are closing our eyes and our borders. Viacom 18 Studios, Karan Johar's Dharma Productions signed distribution deal. Ray Donovan, India's Venkatesh, Rana Daggubati team for Rana Naidu Netflix adaptation of Showtime hit. Netflix acquires Roald Dahl Story Company, plans extensive universe. The following headlines are from NPR, National Public Radio. The U.S. is buying 500 million more Pfizer vaccine doses to donate to other countries. An emancipation statue debuts in Virginia 2 weeks after Robert E. Lee was removed. U.S. top military officer talks counter-terrorism support with Russian counterpart. Brazil's Jair Bolsonaro remains defiant on COVID-19 and the environment at the UN. The FDA has been without a permanent leader for 8 months, as COVID cases climb. Is the worst over? Modelers predict a steady decline in COVID cases through March. Congress is locked in a familiar standoff that could have big economic consequences. California's COVID-19 transmission rate is lower than other states. The lack of Latinos in media could affect how others view them, the government says. The following headlines are from The Week. 2021 is the year of Bergman horror. Will progressives cave on Biden's reconciliation bill? The U.S. has more in common with South America than Europe. How America's shredding of international law enabled the Tigray crisis. Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel Blanchett how close Trump and his lawyers got to stealing the election. Jimmy Fallon and Nicole Kidman almost make it through an interview without residual awkwardness from dating Miss. Study reveals kids on field trip discovered a new species of giant penguin. Facebook is reportedly responding to bad press by promoting Facebook in users' news feed, apologizing less. Thailand is turning plastic waste into personal protective equipment. Huge hack of alternative web services provider Epic could be a Rosetta Stone to the far right. The following headlines are from the Texas Observer. Home cooking concerns revealed in corruption prosecutions outside Texas Capitol. The next headlines are from Universe Today. By using dashcams and security cameras, astronomers were able to track down the location of a meteorite. A Lego version of the Very Large Telescope, it even has a laser interferometer. These are the news headlines for today, Wednesday, September 22nd. This podcast is produced only in English at this time. As of 2020, the Ethnologue reference lists 7,117 different human languages, with English being the third most common, after Mandarin Chinese and Spanish. The following headlines are from earthsky.org. Equinox sun is over Earth's equator. La Palma volcano lava headed to sea. 2021's harvest moon, favorite photos so far. Year's fastest sunsets happen around equinoxes. The next news is from Politico. Emmanuel Macron's German election wish list. Biden cool on future trade pact with United Kingdom. Biden set to play peacemaker for warring Democratic factions. The porn industry turns to K Street to fight Trump-fueled internet regulations. Biden slips into political quicksand amid Haitian migrant buildup. The world is looking at us. Minneapolis puts defund the police to a vote. Mitch McConnell doesn't get the point of the debt limit. Officials, many Haitian migrants are being released in U.S. Mexico transports Haitians from remote area on U.S. border. Canadian Conservative leader tested leftward shift against Trudeau. Will the new course stick? The next headlines are from the Sydney Morning Herald in Australia. Australian News Live, Victoria hit by earthquake. Protests continue as state records 628 new local COVID-19 cases. NSW records 1,035 new cases, 5 deaths. Voss favorite, but Kingsley supported in Blues coaching bid. Standoff at Shrine ends in cloud of tear gas and hail of police rounds. It was just a feeling of panic. The long terrifying moments in earthquake shook Victoria. Wallabies vintage victories over Box need to be bottled and aged for World Cup. Mandatory COVID vaccinations not ruled out for teachers, childcare workers. Celebration and trepidation as Boeing announces Queensland drone deal. Trade wrap, Ford on the radar as Lions hunt big man. Jumpy Roos the first sign of trouble as quake hit Mansfield. Thousands of retired nurses, doctors, psychologists urged to rejoin workforce. The next headlines are from MarketWatch. Retirement hacks, when you should, and shouldn't, consider investing in a Roth 401k. China Evergreens Frankfurt listed shares jump on promise by subsidiary for payment. Kelley Blue Book, this is how much it now costs you to drive a car. NerdWallet, learn to embrace your digital wallet. Here are 8 benefits to love. Next Avenue, why most of the middle class can forget about long-term care. The Moneyest, my son is married to a selfish, passive-aggressive woman. How can I leave him money without her getting her hands on it? IPO report, Toast IPO, 5 things to know about the restaurant-focused payments player. IPO report, Toast prices IPO at $40 a share, way above range, for $20 billion valuation, reports. IPO report, Freshworks IPO, 5 things to know about the customer software as a service provider. IPO report, Freshworks prices IPO at $36 a share, raising more than $1 billion. Next, the top stories about patents and inventions. The importance of intangible assets for your startup, Lixology. Keeping secrets safe, a look at secret use under Australian patent law, Lixology. How India can witness a new wave of IP-savvy startups and MSMEs, SME Futures. Court of Appeal says AI software cannot be listed as patent inventor, the register. How to go about patent filing in India, all you need to know, Economic Times. Amazon beats inventors Internet of Things patent suit, Law 360. Patent Laws and Regulations 2022, Intellectual Property, United States, Mondac News alerts. CGN, equals certain confidential information contained in this document, marked by brackets, has been omitted because IT is both, I, not material and, II, is the type that the registrant treats as private or C, marketscreener.com. Parliamentary Standing Committee on IPR recommends a relook at Section 3, Patent Act, Lixology. Ophthalmologist Patricia Bath, MD, selected for posthumous induction into National Inventors Hall of Fame, Ophthalmology Times. The next headlines are from Quartz. China's markets reopen while Evergreen scrambles. Are cloth masks good enough to face the Delta variant? Try this exercise to think through the consequences of your creative work. Why Biden's pledge to double U.S. climate funding is more political than practical. Why Indian teenagers are keen on investing in cryptocurrency. The pandemic has turned United Airlines into a thriving freight company. Made in China, again. Canada's far-right fringe is getting stronger. Why Amazon is lobbying the U.S. government to legalize weed. The World Bank scandal is a bad sign for the future of globalization. The following headlines are from Tech Dirt. North Carolina sued by Flying Dog Brewery over regulatory body refusing to allow sales due to offensive label. Department of Justice now investigating Florida Sheriff's Office for using a federal grant to fund its predictive policing harassment programs. Tech Dirt Podcast Episode 298, The Impact of Shadow Banning. Mirror Crowdfund, our new paper on NFTs and new scarcities. Daily Deal, the modern web development and MISCL programming bundle. Now Josh Hawley is threatening Google over First Amendment protected expression. Chinese government decides it's done F-wording around, forces Hong Kong to engage in patriot-only elections. Internet service providers already fighting FCC plan to end anti-competitive landlord broadband deals. Turner Entertainment forces name change of Surrender Dorothy Beer, which isn't actually referencing Wizard of Oz. We are now about 1/3 of the way through this daily news headlines podcast, a free service. Here, next, are the top trending keywords in Google web searches for today, a different window on world events. FBI, International. Kayla Plant. Elvira. Willie Garson. Our kind of people. Liverpool. Canelo vs. Plant. Detroit Tigers. Earth, Wind and Fire. Joe Coy. The next headlines are from RT, the first Russian news station in English. Russian footballer hit with 48-game ban for headbutting rival after telling referee "I'll show you what's punishable," reports. UK government secures injunction against eco-warrior protesters who repeatedly blocked sections of M25. Could new ransomware attack threaten US food supply? Boombust finds out. Assassination attempt on Ukrainian presidential advisor leaves driver with gunshot wounds as Zelensky holds meetings in New York. Australia-EU trade deal would benefit Brussels and Indo-Pacific, Canberra says, after ditching French submarine contract. Biden fails to understand that Northern Ireland Protocol is not a bargaining chip for US trade deal, says UK minister. Soaring energy prices become major headache for China. Brazil's health minister tests positive for COVID-19 shortly after unvaccinated Bolsonaro speaks at UN General Assembly. I cannot stop laughing at this. Conor McGregor mocked for worst ceremonial pitch ever as UFC star almost hits fans. Video. Moscow to conduct recount of electronic voting after opposition accuses authorities of rigging weekend parliamentary election. The next headlines are from Zero Hedge. PVC prices hit record high as home building costs soar. Europeans vaccinated with AstraZeneca should be able to enter US, says EU. UK power suppliers halt adding new customers as energy crisis worsens. French Senate delegation to visit Taiwan, despite Chinese regime's opposition. IEA demands Russia deliver more gas to a reeling Europe. AUKUS expedites the coming EU army and NATO's irrelevance. Air Force Secretary says his priorities are China, China, and China. New Iran leader gives fiery UN speech, sanctions are new means of war by US hegemon. With Clinton lawyer charged, the Woosie agate scam is now under indictment. While Democrats try to kill coal in US, Asia heads in the opposite direction. The following headlines are from Al Jazeera, Middle East News. Trump sues niece, New York Times over 2018 tax report. Shots fired at car carrying Ukrainian president's aide. Sony India 2 by Z, country's largest listed TV network. Brazil's health minister tests COVID positive at Lunga. Has the Delta variant changed the symptoms of COVID-19? Taliban asked to address UN after Afghanistan takeover. India's biggest scooter firm calls for end to gasoline vehicles. Taliban sacks Afghan cricket board CEO Hamid Shinwari. Ravaged Syrian rebel area struggles with virus surge. Manila mayor announces bid for president of the Philippines. The next headlines are from Breitbart. ISIS K-bombs eastern Afghan city, kills Taliban fighters. Democrats seek to spend billions on welfare, medical costs for Afghans. House passes bill to prevent shutdown, suspend debt limit. House Freedom Caucus urges members to vote against the NDAA. Top Republican, Democrats defunding Israel's ability to intercept terror rockets. Bernstein, madman Trump willing to destabilize the world to stay in office. Mike Lee, poor and middle class suffer most from waves of uncontrolled illegal immigration, not the rich. Schumer, Zuckerberg lobby use horse videos to denounce Title 42 migration barrier. Commissioner, U.S. Civil Rights Report may encourage minorities to view medical professionals as racist. Report, Democrats face uphill battle in 2022, Republicans hold redistricting edge. The next headlines are from UPI News. Australian woman wins $72,300 from lottery ticket she got for free. Watch, confused kangaroo rescued from lake in Australian capital. NC State basketball coach helps football fan find lost wedding ring. Look, Indiana Parks Department seeks couple from lust and found wedding photo. Watch, monkey briefly on the loose in Indiana hotel parking lot. Chicago suburb attempts world record for largest dog wedding ceremony. Necklace containing ashes of Aaron Jones' father found in Green Bay end zone. Escaped cat found after 3 weeks wandering around JFK Airport. Watch, volunteers rescue dolphins stranded in shallow Texas waters. The following headlines are from goodnewsnetwork.org. Rare rhino species sees dramatic population growth, from just 100 to 3,700 today, as poaching falls. Have we detected dark energy? Cambridge scientists say it's a possibility. 6 in 10 Americans agreed they're more financially confident than they were before the pandemic. Cozy dining cabins made from plastic bottles withstood the NYC hurricane and may be future of disaster relief. Kuwait is transforming its massive tire graveyard into a new green city. You're tuned to No Views, daily automated podcast news. This is a report for Wednesday, September 22nd. Thank you for listening. The next headlines are from Reddit Offbeat News. Fraudster sentenced to prison for long-running phone unlocking scheme that defrauded AT&T of $200. Man caught retrieving €58,000 worth of drugs from a field in the middle of the night claims he was out dazzling rabbits, court told. Gang members busted trying to smuggle a carload of KFC into a lockdown city. Croatia police try to identify mystery woman with memory loss. Ransomware victims panicked while FBI secretly held our evil decryption key. A 10-foot White House in Boston sells for $1.25 million. Gas station clerk murdered for asking a customer to wear a mask. New Zealand COVID, men caught smuggling KFC into lockdown hit Auckland, BBC News. Blueberry heist leaves farmer searching for answers. Tesla driver arrested for allegedly using autopilot while drunk, unconscious. The next headlines are from a site called The Next Web. Mumbai wants India's F crown, and it's buying 1,900 buses to prove it. Sex toy design has a lot to teach big tech. Will nomad hubs become the next startup cities? This is a positive story about Facebook. No, really. Specialized new city e-bikes marry smoothness, torque, and smarts. Report, Apple's working on a horrific iPhone feature that uses AI to detect autism. Amazon's AI is forcing delivery drivers to make dangerous decisions. Amazon's new Kindle Paperwhite won't sear your eyeballs with blue light. Undersea internet cables are causing geopolitical tension. Writer uses artificial intelligence to write fantastic text for any of your writing projects. The following headlines are from Science Daily. River research reveals scale of macroplastic pollution. Mind diet linked to better cognitive performance. New machine learning method to analyze complex scientific data of proteins. Regulator proteins are symphonies of genes. Statistical modeling points way toward unified theory for DNA folding. Which types of brain activity support conscious experiences? Carbon fibers electrical measurements pave way for lightning strike protection technologies. Researchers build embryo-like structures from human stem cells. Researchers use exosome-based strategy to block HIV in mice. Researchers study recurrent neural network structure in the brain. 4 dinosaurs discovered in Montana, including a possible rare ostrich mimic zoo. This is a reading of news headlines. This broadcast was created on Wednesday, September 22nd from over 100 sources, to give you a bigger picture of the news. The next headlines are from NASA News. NASA awards Orion main engine contract for future Artemis missions. New York, New Jersey students to hear from NASA space station crew. NASA Leadership Positions Agency for Future. The next headlines are from the Salt Lake Tribune. Bayou linebacker Ben Bywater overcame his own injury last year, primed himself to be next man up. Quarterback Charlie Brewer leaves Utah football team. My LDS faith says we owe it to the vulnerable to get vaccinated, says Stanford doctor. Body found near Grand Teton was that of Gabby Petito, Wyoming coroner confirms. Utah lawmakers use tax threats to force social media companies to the negotiating table. Skier Kai Jones' blood is on Tim Durtsky's hands, and that's okay. Tom Frieden, I ran a CDC, here's how to prove that Americans are vaccinated. Paul Gibbs, take no joy in the misery of the unvaccinated. Larger-than-life Utah conservationist is missing in Yellowstone. Gordon Munson, let's admit it, quarterbacks and Utah football are a bad mix. The next headlines are from Slashdot, tech news for nerds. SEC's Gensler doesn't see cryptocurrencies lasting long. Jeff Bezos says traveling to space changed how he thinks about nature. Scientists develop the next generation of reservoir computing. China vows end to building coal-fired power plants abroad. U.S. committee is reviewing Zoom's $14.7 billion deal for Five9 on national security grounds. iOS 15.1 beta lets users add COVID vaccination card to wallet app. FBI held back ransomware decryption key from businesses to run operation targeting hackers. Comcast and UK subsidiary Sky reportedly launching smart TVs. China's Lehman Brothers moment? Central Intelligence Agency director fuming after Havana syndrome strikes team member in India. The next headlines are from Fox St. Louis. I need help. Illinois mother of missing college student asks for FBI's help. Missouri's abortion law in federal court, focus on Down syndrome diagnosis. This is definitely not a human thing, this is a God thing. Springfield officer receives kidney at Slough Hospital. Watch, first trailer for Kurt Warner biopic released. Missouri vaccine lottery, Wednesday is the deadline for fourth drawing. Photo mystery, help connect engaged couple with romantic proposal pic. Gabby Petito's death ruled homicide after autopsy confirms ID of remains in Wyoming, FBI says. Missouri has more than 700 missing adults and children. Caretaker's sister, mother die after he chokes to death. Jefferson County juvenile claims self-defense after killing man with arrow. These are the current headlines from the world's most interesting news websites. Thank you for listening. The next headlines are from Fox San Diego. SDSU football seeks second 4-0 start in past 40 years. Electricity Commissioner says Tijuana's power infrastructure is lagging, soon won't meet demand. Temperatures climb above 100 at multiple locations in San Diego County. Civil rights leader criticizes Biden admin, calls on county to welcome Haitian migrants. School officials, parents react to COVID-19 health signs removed in North County. Pad stars Machado, Tatis say all's well after dugout dust-up. Woman shot in the neck in City Heights. DUC calls San Diego ground zero for meth crisis as drug-related deaths increase. Sex and the City star Willie Garson dies at 57. Amazon opens its biggest facility in California, right on the border with Mexico. The next headlines are from SupChina, top news about China. Jiang Zemin and the PRC's first orderly transfer of power. Xi Jinping says China will not build new coal-fired power projects abroad. The fall of the Evergreen boss. This is the No Views, daily automated podcast news. Today, in the GMT time zone, is Wednesday, September 22, 2021. Now, more headlines. The next headlines are from KRON4 San Francisco. San Jose works to improve dangerous intersection. Contra Costa supervisors decline to extend COVID-19 eviction moratorium. Oakland City Council votes to fund additional police academies. 1 dead in San Jose house fire. Person suffers major injuries after falling from cliff on Angel Island. SF police arrest drug dealer in possession of $47,000, multiple drugs. Just 56% of Americans can name all 3 branches of government. Immigration advocates continue to push for reform despite Senate setback. House OK's debt and funding plan, inviting clash with GOP. List, how Bay Area schools rank compared to U.S. The next headlines are from the Daily Herald. Facebook Oversight Board reviewing's check system for VIPs. AP sourced, Simmons won't report to 76ers training camp. Giants beat Padres 6-5, maintain narrow lead in NL West. Gordon homers, 4 Twins get 3 hits, Minnesota tops Cubs 9-5. Yankees power past Rangers 7-1 to keep pace in playoff race. Missing man last seen at Lovell Federal Health Care Center. Palatine accused of negligence over dog attack in Elmwood Park that mirrors May attack. 2 more from Illinois charged in Capitol breach. Next Arlington Heights meeting on affordable housing project Monday, September 27. The following headlines are from Seattle PI. Another orca whale in Washington's endangered southern resident ponds is presumed dead. U.S. Census Bureau, 60,000 Seattle area tenants are behind on rent. The next alerts are from the Global Disaster Alerting and Coordination System, a cooperative effort from disaster managers worldwide. Green earthquake alert, magnitude 6.5 m, depth 30.74 km, in Nicaragua September 22, 2021, 9:57 UTC, 240,000 people within 100 kilometers. Green alert for Tropical Cyclone Peter 21, population affected by Category 1, 120 km per hour, wind speeds or higher is 0. Green alert for Tropical Cyclone Rose 21, population affected by Category 1, 120 km per hour, wind speeds or higher is 0. Drought is ongoing in Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Paraguay. Drought is ongoing in Madagascar. Drought is ongoing in Brazil. Drought is ongoing in Armenia, Azerbaijan, Greece, Iraq, Iran, Syria, Turkey. Drought is ongoing in Canada, United States. Drought is ongoing in Bhutan, China, India, Myanmar. Drought is ongoing in United States. You are hearing the No Views, daily automated podcast news. Today is Wednesday, September 22nd in the Greenwich Mean Time zone. Headlines here were found today in news feeds from around the world, but we do focus on the USA, one of the world's current 195 countries. Now, more news. The next headlines are from ABC Houston. Powerball winning numbers drawing yields no winner, lottery jackpot at $472 Mega Millions ticket worth $432 million sold in New York. Pleasant Wednesday with breezy winds. Man gets maximum sentence allowed by Texas law for abusing 3 young children in Montgomery County. Mask mandate ban draws investigation for possibly violating rights of students with disabilities. Buses bring Haitian migrants to Houston. We are different than other parts of the U.S. Doctor once accused of stealing COVID vaccine suing Harris County Public Health for discrimination. City of Houston housing director fired after alleging mayor is bankrolling developer. Brazil's health minister tests positive for COVID at United Nations. Willie Garson, known for Sex and the City, White Collar, dies at 57. The following headlines are from China Post, top news about China, Taiwan and the world. Dark out, Slovis returns as USC's QB scramble continues. WVA governor withdraws from consideration as boys coach. Will you be able to travel to the U.S. with Medigen vaccine shots? U.S. top military officer meets with Russian counterpart. Czech President Miloš Zeman released from hospital. Eruption on Spanish island could last 3 months, experts say. Shares gain as Evergrande says it will make interest payment. Sun, Aces get to rest, watch early WNBA postseason matchups. The following headlines are from The Gothamist. 16-year-old pleads guilty to 2019 murder of Barnard College student. Extra extra, happy 21st night of September to those who remember. Buy us out, Queens homeowners flooded by Ida say relocation may be their only solution. What New York City's first school COVID closure can tell us about the year to come. Coronavirus statistics, tracking the epidemic in New York. Richard Wright's haikus turned into public art around downtown Brooklyn. As traffic deaths mount, de Blasio vows to intensify lagging enforcement. Wilder's new burger stand Mighty's leads Market Line's grand reopening. City bike explodes into cacophony of sparks and smoke after being hit by subway. Google plans $2.1 billion purchase of St. John's Terminal on Manhattan's West Side. We hope you are enjoying this podcast. If you have a suggestion for a new RSS feed we should add, please leave it in a comment on our YouTube page. The next headlines are from globalissues.org. From We the Peoples to Our Common Agenda, the United Nations is a work in progress. Philippines President urges world to reverse course on inequality. Somali President underscores need for COVID-19 vaccines for all. Sanctions are U.S. way of war, Iranian President at UN. China headed towards carbon neutrality by 2060, President Xi Jinping vows to halt new coal plants abroad. Republic of Korea calls for UN-led era of global community. Dr. Congo President asks for materialization of all the promises made to Africa. World's 2 largest economies commit to climate action, Guterres. Afghanistan, palpable fear of brutal and systemic repression of women grows. COVID shot for all, not a luxury, but development priority, UNDP. The next headlines are from blacklistednews.com. CNN, stop doing your own research. Data study, 18 months of ammo sales during a pandemic, protests, and the Biden presidency. Counting COVID. Eric Schmidt cashes in on artificial intelligence arms race. The following headlines are from Snopes, a fact-checking service. Mexico buses, flies Haitians from remote area on U.S. border. FedEx costs rising due to tight job market. Man who filmed cops beating Rodney King dies from COVID complications. Soul-crushing, U.S. COVID-19 deaths are topping 1,900 a day. Did an anti-vaccine protester liken nurses to Nazi war criminals? Coroner IDs remains, says Gabby Petito was homicide victim. In photos, world's largest tree wrapped in firefoil. Afghanistan girls soccer team given asylum in Portugal. Are 70 members of Pfizer's investment board part of the CCP? Sarah Dash, who sang on Lady Marmalade with Patti LaBelle, dies. The next headlines are from factcheck.org. COVID-19, the unvaccinated pose a risk to the vaccinated. We are now about 2/3 of the way through today's news headlines. When everything is working, this feed will auto-update 3 times per day. Join us daily to stay informed. The next headlines are from the Daily Beast. Lawyer forces bogus drug on hospitals and drives docs crazy. Netflix's Love on the Spectrum is the best dating show on TV. The NRA is bankrupt, but it still owns America's gun agency. Cold War kids Nathan Willett, my evangelical struggle. Alleged QAnon mastermind is selling Trump retweets as NFTs. These Republican candidates for governor are boosting Trump's election lie. Dem factions look to Biden to broker infrastructure truce. Why anti-abortion groups won't sue the Texas doc who flouted the ban. Democrats' immigration lies are finally catching up to them. The giant space rock that wiped out biblical Sodom. The next headlines are from the New York Post. Thousands of Haitian migrants at southern border are being released into U.S., report. Jets sign LB Delshon Phillips to active roster off of practice squad. Mets coach punches dugout wall after Pete Alonso was thrown out at plate. The following headlines are from astronomy.com. Sodium may make asteroid Phaeton fizzle. You're tuned to the No Views, daily automated podcast news. If you are hearing this, you found something super unknown. Congratulations. Now back to the headlines. The next science headlines are from CBS News. Johnson & Johnson says second shot is 94% effective against coronavirus. Johnson & Johnson says COVID booster increases protection. COVID has now killed about as many Americans as the 1918 pandemic. Pfizer says its lower-dose COVID-19 vaccine is safe for kids ages 5 to 11. Pfizer finds COVID vaccine safe and effective for young kids. Volcano erupts on Spain's La Palma Island, forcing evacuations. The next headlines are from the New York Daily News. Florida man dies of COVID-19 minutes before his first grandchild is born. Cuomo lawyer goes on new attack against credibility of sexual harassment accusers, NY Attorney General James. Illinois professor who spit on black woman, used racial slur facing hate crime charges. 15-year-old boy charged with shooting of 2 classmates at school in Virginia. Stephen King has never seen a missing black woman get the coverage Gabby Petito got. House approves debt and funding plan, GOP poised to defeat the measure. Unemotional mother pleads not guilty in stabbing death of 3-year-old daughter found in trash bag. These 3 states account for a third of last week's COVID deaths. Willie Garson, Sex and the City star, dies at age 57. AOC calls for release of all Rikers inmates amid inhumane jail conditions. The following headlines are from military.com. Pentagon stays mum on troop housing allowance boost to offset pandemic pinch. One of two pilots in military jet crash in Texas out of hospital. Diverse teams outperform, Space Force wants to recruit, train and promote differently. UK minister sorry over Afghan interpreter's data breach. After Afghans fell from plane, families live with horror. Biden says US not seeking new Cold War with China. The Space Force unveils its new, sci-fi-worthy uniform. Air Force Secretary taps watchdog to weigh accountability in botched Kabul airstrike. Drone strike kills at least one in northwestern Syria. Korean War soldier killed in 1950 buried after remains dead. The next headlines are from the Chicago Tribune. We've been close to putting a dog in the bathroom. Chicago area shelters deal with overcrowding due to financial strain on owners, worry about eviction moratorium ending. 2 teens shot in Hyde Park. Libertyville Hospital that was ordered to let COVID-19 patient receive ivermectin says controversial medication is putting her at risk. Fed up Chicago man tears to outspeed bump in alley behind his house, plans to fight ticket, little by little I took it out. When will kids under 12 be approved for the COVID-19 vaccine? Here's what parents need to know. Chicago toy store collects dolls, books and teddy bears for kids arriving from Afghanistan. Why cannot we be the people to help? Bennett Academy reverses course, offers lacrosse coach job to woman in same-sex marriage. Never, prouder to be a Red Wing, she says. Pritzker defends vaccine and testing policy for educators during visit from U.S. Education Secretary Miguel Cardona. 15-year-old boy killed in Southside shooting near high school, police say. The following headlines are from phys.org. Scientists ID sterol essential for oil accumulation in plants. 5.9 earthquake causes some damage in Australia, no injuries. Explainer, why dangers ahead for Spanish volcanic island. Maritime rope could be adding billions of microplastics to the ocean every year. Predicting a riot, social inequality leads to vandalism in experiments. Healthcare professionals are important communicators for addressing climate change. Low-income single mothers feel they have no choice in COVID-19 school and care decisions. New insights on work, stress, and political skills. Article examines retaliatory use of public standards in trade wars between countries. Hoverflies navigate using sun and body clock. Thank you for listening and for staying informed. This audio was produced today, Wednesday, September 22nd, in the GMT time zone. The next headlines are from Discover magazine. What is the best mattress for side sleepers? Everything you need to know about COVID-19 testing at home. The cannibalistic chaos within planetary systems. The 24 best limited ingredient dog foods. Can housing instability and homelessness lead to health problems? The next headlines are from the Seattle Times. Rookie quarterback struggling through first 2 weeks. Americans champs of ping pong table, not so much Ryder Cup. Apple, Google raise new concerns by yanking Russian app. Du Bois declares I'm back, set for fresh start in Winnipeg. Germany's diversity shows as I'm migrants run for parliament. The following headlines are from mercurynews.com. Bridge, September 22, 2021. Why more and more athletes are turning to CBD topicals. Word Game, September 22, 2021. Horoscope September 22, 2021, Andrea Bocelli, take responsibility for your happiness. Harriet Cole, I'm an overscheduled teen, and I'm getting scared. Ryan Buttigieg, trust the process and stay consistent. Miss Manners, I have a strategy for thwarting pushy drivers. Is it rude? Dear Abby, how can we protect our family from angry teen? Ask Amy, if I bar him from the party, he's going to make a scene. Natural versus fake, Brianna Latour the Lip Bunny on how overfilled injectables can ruin your look. The next headlines are from the Washington Times. General Mark Milley, the U.S. top military officer, meets with Russian counterpart. Many Haitian migrants are being released in the U.S. on a very, very large scale, say officials. Joe Biden articles of impeachment introduced by 4 House Republicans. House passes bill to avoid government shutdown, suspend debt cap. Congress commits to helping victims of mysterious attacks causing Havana syndrome. Australia earthquake causes damage in Melbourne. Biden meeting with Boris Johnson turns tense over UK teen killed by wrong-way driver. Alana McLaughlin, transgender MMA fighter, prompts backlash with win in debut. Inside the Beltway, run again, Republicans say to Trump. The next headlines are from The Intercept. Afghan resistance leaders, long backed by CIA, have fled following Taliban takeover. Shadow Dragon, inside the social media surveillance software that can watch your every move. Conservatives only care about the incarcerated when it comes to the Capitol rioters. In targeting Haitians, Biden may execute the largest mass expulsion of asylum seekers in recent history. Death on Rikers, Isa Abdul Karim sued over previous jail mistreatment, then landed back there and caught COVID. The U.S. military often kills civilians, and rarely offers compensation. This is No Views, daily automated podcast news. You are hearing headlines for Wednesday, September 22, 2021. Now more. The next headlines are from the Chicago Sun-Times. Horoscope for Wednesday, September 22, 2021. Chicago police officer shot at in Rogers Park, 1 in custody. 2 wounded in Roseland shooting. Manager David Ross celebrates John Lester after former Cup wins 200th game. Boy, 15, shot to death blocks from Simeon High School. There's been only 4 weeks in school and another student is gone. Rahm Emanuel's Japan ambassador financial disclosure report, made $13 million since leaving City Hall. Willie Garson, starred as Stanford Blatch on Sex and the City, dies at 57. Finding quality depth key for Cubs as team builds toward the future. Speaker Welch taps first Latinas to run House elections, ex-Com Ed lobbyist and staffer who promises inclusion and inclusiveness. Boys, 15 and 14, wounded in Hyde Park shooting. The next headlines are from the Times of India. SRH's D. Natarajan tests positive, match against DC to go ahead. Redmi Smart TVs with Android 11 launched in India. Pakistan minister says threat to NZ cricket team originated in India. COVID letter, the benefits of solo masking. Are kids at risk of long COVID? Here's what new research has found. Gastronomy in Dubai. Who is Anandjiri, Chot Maharaj's flashy lifestyle. iOS 15 features that won't come to older iPhones. Allow women to take NDA exam this year, SC. Non-stop flights from India to Canada to resume from September 26. You are hearing today's news headlines. These headlines are for Wednesday, September 22, 2021. Now more. The next headlines are from the Houston Press. Hangar Kitchen, great food at a hidden gem. Full-time Houston Press news reporter job opening. Best of Houston 2021, Best Sushi. Best of Houston 2021, Best Breakfast, Midtown. Save the date, Best Games to Watch Future Texans Quarterbacks. Preview, Mixed Rep at Houston Ballet and Season Opener. This week's Best Concerts. Doctor accused of vaccine theft sues Harris County for over $1 million. Best of Houston 2021, Best Gluten-Free Pizza. Best of Houston 2021, Best Soup Dumplings. The next headlines are about world records making news. Pickering pedestrian bridge named Guinness World Record holder, ConstructConnect.com, Daily Commercial News. This 23-year-old woman is the youngest person to have traveled to every country in the world, Scoop Group. Hero Moto Corp achieved its second Guinness World Record title, HT Auto. No before, one login aimed to set new Guinness World Record, technology decisions. Sustainable solar cell leans on copper to claim world record efficiency, new Atlas. Chinese climber Niudi betters women's speed climbing world record, CGTN. Check upside, Nano Ozbay man going for Burpee Guinness World Record, check. Carolite enters Guinness World Record by throwing 426 punches in 60 seconds, Mathraphumi English. Water skiing, 3 members of Little Crow ski team set record, West Central Tribune. Wait, what? British gardener sets world record by growing 839 tomatoes from single stem, NDTV food. The next headlines are from Gizmodo. Watch Bill Gates get very uncomfortable when asked about Jeffrey Epstein. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's Wolf Boy and the Everything Factory looks like a whimsical treat. Shang-Chi comes home November 12th along with new Star Wars and Marvel teases. S-Cry adds peculiar power sets and stunning fights must be seen in HD. Report, FBI had ransomware decryption key for weeks before giving it to victims. Hacking your room's lighting to match the flickering lights in Quake makes the game feel even moodier. Netflix cordially invites you to a WWE-themed House of Horrors. China's Xi Jinping says country will stop financing coal-fired power abroad. Facebook's new battery-powered Portal Go lets you tow the smart display around your house. What place in the world had the hottest and coolest temperatures today? According to ElDoradoWeather.com, the hottest place on Earth in the past 24 hours was Arafat in Saudi Arabia at 116.6 degrees Fahrenheit or 47 degrees Celsius. The coldest recorded weather temperature on Earth in the past 24 hours was Vostok in Antarctica at minus 86.98 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 66.1 degrees Celsius. The following headlines are from Ars Technica. Florida's new Surgeon General skeptical of vaccines, opposes masks. China to stop building coal plants in developing nations. Linux Foundation says companies are desperate for open source talent. Porsche finds yet another way to slice the 911, the 2022 911 Carrera GTS. PS5 storage analysis concludes, spend less, get the same gaming performance. Braille display demo refreshes with miniature fireballs. Ransomware victims panicked while FBI secretly held our evil decryption key. Facebook's latest apology reveals security and safety disarray. Central Intelligence Agency director fuming after Havana syndrome strikes team member in India. Google spending $2.1 billion for even more New York City real estate. The following headlines are from Raw Story. A new House bill would blow up the massive IRAs of the super wealthy. Mocking last weekend's pathetic pro-Trump rally is easy, but the anti-democratic movement behind it is no joke. There's a message buried in John Durham's latest indictment, and it isn't pretty. Historian John Meacham wonders if we're mature enough for democracy. Here's the latest sign worrying him. Losing loser seeks to lose some more. Legal experts dissect Trump's lawsuit against his niece. Trump sues his own niece, and hilarity ensues on MSNBC. Dangerous nonsense. Elections expert picks apart pro-Trump lawyer's infamous plan to overturn 2020 vote. Trump sues New York Times over insidious plot to publish bombshell report on his taxes. Horror stories emerge as unvaccinated patients crush Montana hospitals, and threats have required a police response. All part of the scam. CNN's Gloria Bulger levels brutal indictment of Trump campaign amid leaked memo. The next headlines are from Mother Jones. In California's water wars, nuts are urging out people. Trump packed a federal land agency off to Colorado. Biden is bringing it home. Kyrsten Sinema is threatening to derail Democrats' agenda, again. The founders of Stop AAPI Hates Anti-Violence app make Times 100 most influential list. The Durham indictment fuels the real Russia hoax. Texas Republicans just passed a slew of extreme laws, now they'll gerrymander to stay in power. Wolf-culling campaigns in Idaho and Montana may have just backfired. The next items are today's top search results for extraterrestrial life. Earthly lava tubes may offer insights into extraterrestrial life, phys.org. The following items are today's top search results for the term neuroplasticity. Angiogenesis biomarkers in ischemic stroke patients cheer, Dove Medical Press. Tongue strength training increases daytime upper airway stab NSS, Dove Medical Press. Taking your dog for lots of walks could stop it developing a canine form of dementia, study reveals, Daily Mail. Hypoxia improvement and electroconvulsive therapy NDT, Dove Medical Press. The next items are the top results for news about longevity and immortality. Silicon Valley's quest to live forever could benefit humanity as a whole. Here's why, CNBC. We are nearing the end of this broadcast. This report is for Wednesday, September 22, 2021 in the GMT time zone. What cities are in that time zone? Well, Reykjavik, Iceland, for one. You might wonder if our server is in Reykjavik. It could be. The following is from the UFO Chronicles. Remote-controlled killer robotic machine gun? That's it for now. Thanks for enjoying today's newsfeed headlines. This, indeed, has been a No Views, daily automated podcast newscast for Wednesday, September 22, 2021. Bookmark us and tune in each day to our free automated podcast to find out what's going on, around, and, sometimes, light years, beyond the Earth. Fair use statement. News.8 is a US-based educational not-for-profit news site. We use only parts of content, in transformative ways and without market usurpation. This means you are still going to want to read the original if you are interested in it beyond the headline and any comments we make. We provide links to original sources wherever possible. If you have any copyright concern, please contact us via our About page for immediate remedy. Contact us, Zeno at XENOMAILS 2021 by News.8. All rights reserved.